we record the entire. We'll give you the. We put it up on YouTube, and you can. Yeah, so keep the Jew head to a minimum. You're a rental crowd here.
I just want to. I don't want to be on the YouTube.
No.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to be on anything. I don't hope no more. So I don't want to be fucking. I don't want to be going back in the pocket. I mean, I should be best. I shouldn't be.
Rory, come down. Make more people. Graham, fill it up. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for a man who crashed into a ditch yesterday because it was either that or spent more time in Abbeyfield. It's your host, Jim O'Callaghan. Thank you very much for a warm welcome for Chuckle on County Kerry, Kerry's best, and it also has to be said, only open mic comedy night. Thank you very much. If you see a comedian on stage and you think, I can do better than them, you can do two things. First of all, go fuck yourself. Secondly, you can DM me on Instagram at Chuckle on County Kerry. We wanted just the initials, but they wouldn't let us keep them. Just try and work out. There we go. Oh, she got it. There we go. She's good at spelling in school. Excellent stuff. Yeah, ladies and gents, we got a fantastic show for you tonight. I'm going to warm up the crowd, and then we got some excellent comedians. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 other excellent comedians and me. So yeah, it's going to be a great night. Free comedy, as I said. We will be locking the doors. I lied about that, ladies. So yeah, you're in for it tonight here. Yeah, I'm in a great mood, ladies and gents. I will say, my friend recently asked me what my aims are within comedy. What do I want from this? You know, is it you know, fame? Is it money? And fame in Ireland is different to other places. You know, if you're famous in Ireland, maybe you might get sponsored by milk, you know, or the local, you know, Toyota dealership. If you're really famous in Ireland, maybe, you know, you get to punch someone outside the Icon Club in Limerick and get away with this. But yeah, that's you know, that's the levels of fame. Over in America, it's different. You know, the levels of fame in America. You know, at the start, you start getting invited to some exclusive parties where you can only wear white and never tell anyone what you see. Yeah. As an aside, I think 30% of all photos in the early noughties were of Ashton Kutcher going like, beside a person who's about to rape another person. Yeah. Dude, where's my car? Danny Masterson is raping someone inside there. Yeah. If people remember who Danny Masterson is? Yeah. Ladies, do you remember? You know who Danny Masterson is? No. Because this is the problem. It happened a year ago, and people's memories are very short. That's why there's going to be a joke about that fellow from One Direction later on. Listen, it's your own fault. It's your own fault. If you can't remember stuff that happened a year ago, it's going to be referring to stuff about a month ago. Yeah, I know. God damn it. Fame is pretty. It's different. Obviously, then the levels go up. It goes, you know, white party at Diddy's mansion. Then above that is you've got Epstein Island. You get to go to an island, which is nice. And then at the peak of fame, and like, you know, you've reached peak fame in America because for some reason you're allowed to tell people who to vote for. That's kind of the next level. And I gotta say, if you were on the fence about the American election, but then you said, I wonder what Kid Rock thinks. You know, that's how you make a decision. Maybe you don't. Maybe you shouldn't get the vote. Yeah, you know, kind of somewhat related. I'm conscious that I'm a very privileged individual. I want to leave the world a better place than I arrived. That's why, you know, I try to improve the world. That's why once a week I drive to the Cliffs of Moher and I cut down the fencing and I hand out selfie sticks.
That's a sin.
I don't actually do it, you know? No, I just built a ramp over the fence. Yeah, they still dying. And honestly, is it a tragedy? No, it's you know, the world is full of idiots. On a completely unrelated note, anyone into astrology? Into astrology at all? Well, you're not gonna like this next 5 minutes. No, astrology. I actually typed in the ChatGPT, how does astrology work? And it came back with, it doesn't. You know, anyone born in April? Yeah, there is. Who's born in April? I just imagined that. Okay, that was good. I thought I heard someone, yes. Hopefully at some stage I'll get to perform in front of more than 12 people, and statistically one of them will be born in April. But as it stands, anyone's, like, so if you're April, you're a Taurus, and it means you're, according to ChatGPT after I said, what if it was real? And they clarified, if you're a Taurus, you are loving, caring, and a bit of a daydreamer. You know, it's interesting. There's actually a famous person who was born in April. I'll give you a hint. They were born on the 20th of April, so that's 420. Nice. Anyone want to guess that famous person born in April? Close. Hitler. Yeah. Good to see there's no fans here. That's good to see. Yeah, and you can say what you want about Hitler because none of their fans are here, so you really can. You can say what you want, but you know he wasn't a daydreamer. I go as far as Hitler was a go-getter. You know, when he got elected, he did go get those Jews. Yeah, it's interesting. Again, slightly related to this. Anyone to the homeopathy? So if you're not familiar with homeopathy, it's the idea that you have a substance and you dilute it with a solute, and you keep diluting it, and so you basically dilute with water and alcohol until you're left with something that chemically is just water or alcohol. And it used to be a lot bigger. It used to be a lot bigger in Ireland, especially about 10 years ago, but not so much anymore because those people should have just gotten real chemo. Yeah. No, I think actually Irish people have been subjected, without knowing, have been subjected to homeopathy. If you ever played Irish sports and you had an injury and that person just ran out and poured water on your leg, that was just homeopathy. You know, that was actually what that was guys doing. Anyone play? So I actually played rugby. Anyone play rugby before? No, I played rugby from the age of 6 to 16. I didn't get much game time because the coach wanted to win. Yeah. Yeah, I was terrible. I really can't emphasize enough. I was shite at that sport. But my parents insisted I play. They said it was very important to be part of a team, to just keep understand what it's like to be part of a team. And I realized that every team has someone who has zero skill and no knowledge. And in industry, they normally work in HR. Yeah, my claim to fame. People are aware who Keith Earls is. He's a legitimate, someone from Limerick. Like, of course. Keith Earls is a capped Lions player, Ireland player, and Munster player. So he was legitimate. And my claim to fame is when I was under 16s, I actually tackled Keith Earls once. It's still going, 38, so this is 22 years ago. But 3 caveats to that point. First of all, it was against Thomond, and they were a man down, so they had to take Keith from the under 14s, so that's somewhat less impressive. The second part was that when I say tackled him, I tackled him in the sense that woman who's a suffragette tackled that horse. It just got tangled up in his legs, really. Yeah, but it stopped his form momentum. And the third point that kind of takes the magic away was that immediately afterwards, I was coughing up blood and had to be taken off the pitch. Yeah, that was my claim to fame. No, it's interesting there that that's kind of one of my greatest achievements, that I once kind of stopped Keith Earls. It's good. I've been doing this comedy thing for a bit now, and I do a warm up bit. And I'm conscious that a lot of comics, they ask people, where they're from. Anyone from Australia here, ladies and gents? Nope. I was just hoping to get some breakdancing lessons. It's fun. People ask people where they're from. Anyone from Dublin? Yeah. Oh, you are from Dublin? Originally, yeah. Sorry, I actually left out my phone earlier and it was still there when I came back, so I didn't think there was anything wrong here. That's good. I mean, Dublin people. Dublin fellas normally, and I think you seem to be the exception. Dublin men, the traditional Dublin men, can normally be divided into either wannabe Conor McGregors, i.e. rapists, or they think they're better than you because they once played Soggy Biscuit with Brian O'Driscoll. Are you familiar with Soggy Biscuit concept? It's the idea that a group of men stand around a biscuit and then they all masturbate, and the last one to ejaculate the biscuit has to eat the biscuit. Now, as a description, I'm aware that's a bit of a mouthful, but if you play with a full rugby team, so is the biscuit. It does ring a bell. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's good. No, I think Dublin's really nice. If you leave it, no, it's quite nice.
That's why I live here.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. You live in Tralee. It's much better than Dublin. It is. Ladies and gents, so I don't ask people, where they're from, because it just insults them. But some people ask, some comedians ask their job. It's always interesting, I think you can tell some bits about someone based on their job. So if they're a social worker, they're probably very caring. If they're an engineer, they're probably good at maths. If they were a Garda, they were probably bullied in school. Yeah. Any Gardaí here? That's what they would say. Yeah, it's no. So I don't do that. So what I try to do, I try to get I try and ask different questions. One of the questions I ask to get a real idea, to get to bond with the audience and kind of understand them more is if you had a superpower, what would it be? And I got different answers. A lot of different answers. One fella says I'd like the superpower of unlimited sick days, and I explained that's just called cancer. Yeah. And so we've got three ladies here. We'll go around. Miss, what's your name?
It's Lauren.
Lauren, welcome, Lauren. Round of applause for Lauren, please. Thank you very much, ladies. I will say comedy gigs are a lot like orgies in that where the comedians are the men at the orgy and then the audience members are the women at the orgy. In that we're really glad you're here. And if you weren't here, we'd all just kind of looking at each other awkwardly. It's like, you just practicing each other. So I would personally like to thank you, Lauren, and thank you so much for coming. Can I ask you, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
Yes, pervert's choice. That's the least safe one as well. People wear high vis for a reason. You can get killed by a supervillain by accident. Just to start shooting wildly and get him. A perfectly valid one. Thank you very much for your contribution. And beside you, the one who dabbed you in, Lauren, you could dab her in.
Ellie.
Say again?
Ellie.
Ailey. If you could have any superpower, Ailey, what would it be? Sorry, round of applause for Ailey. I mean, there we go, yeah. Credit for credit too. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Teleportation, so you can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's good. And what's your name is?
Sonia.
Sonia? Round of applause for Sonia. Thank you very much. And if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Kind of like Ellie's, but to travel.
No, she's already taken away.
Travel anywhere for free.
Travel anywhere. It's just called a rich husband. Have one of those. No, it's good. I mean, listen. I'm glad you didn't say flight. Flight. Human beings' obsession. People's obsession with the superpower of flight is the reason that guy from One Direction died.
No. Wrong audience.
Wrong audience. Listen, if you can't handle your coke, what are you gonna do? Don't do drugs that are harder than you. Ladies and gents, I think our fantastic audience, and ladies, we really do appreciate you being here. You've been a great crowd so far. So I'm going to introduce our next comedian, our first comedian of the night. He is an absolutely hilarious individual. We always love when we come down. He's been on TV once, for comedy, not wanted or anything. So please, ladies and gents, please give a round of applause for the absolutely hilarious Ronan Grace.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Hi, guys. How are you? Hello, Blasket. How are you getting on? You good? Yeah. Great. I am an optimistic alcoholic. When normal people, they see a glass and there's water in it, some people think it's half full, some people think it's half empty. I think, maybe that's vodka. Tried to get a haircut the last day. I go to Tony Alban, fantastic barber. Anybody use Tony? Not you guys, obviously. But, it's a lot cheaper, isn't it? You should just go and ask for a trim. Yeah, save yourself 160 quid. But I went in there and I used the Booksy app. You know the Booksy app?
Yep.
Graham? Yeah, it's great. It's a great app. But I've been having trouble with it recently. It got a dicky on me, and so I was trying to get an appointment, and you could go on standby. So I went on standby, and I went down, and I was like, "Are you taking walk-ins today?" And he said, "Yeah, we are." And I said, "Brilliant." I said, "I'm having terrible trouble with that Booksy app." And he goes, "What do you mean fucking trouble?" It's such a slow stage, and I just forgot. Sorry, I ran out of ground there. So I said, "Tony, I'm having a terrible problem with this Booksy app." And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "When did you try to book it?" I said, "Monday." And he was like, "Sure, we're very busy here." And I was like, "You want me to Booksy 2 weeks in advance now?" And he said, "Yeah, I would say so, or you can book with Aska." And I was like, "I don't need another app." And he said, "No, Aska is the Asian man that cuts the hair next to me. You can just book with him instead if I'm booked up." I thought Aska was a new app for, like Aska, the Aska app. If you want to get an appointment, just Aska. It would actually be a great name for an app. So Aska wasn't a chatty guy at all. He's fucking very quiet guy, very into the hair cutting, which is good. It's a fantastic chop. But he said, "This will take a lot of work, but it will be worth it." And it was. I just have to brush it every day, which is a bit annoying. But that was pretty much all he said, and then he spun me around in the chair, which Irish guys don't do anymore. I think we should bring back spinning around people to look at their hair in the mirror and the barbers, because it's a bit of fun. It's a nice bit of fun when they spin you around and you go, "Yeah, that's fine. What the fuck can I do about it now?" "Yeah, do you want a bit of gel?" "No, it's okay. I've got my cap." But yeah, so he wasn't chatty at all, and your hairdresser not being chatty, that's a bad thing. Your dentist being chatty, that's even worse. I got a chatty dentist. Fucking hell! Oh yeah, he's like, "I get it. I went in the last day." He's like, "So we're going to do an extraction today." I was like, "You're going to fucking pull a tooth?" And he's like, "Well, we do this thing that's plasma spinning." I was like, "Right. Yeah, okay." He goes, "You fell in Top Gear?" And I said, He goes, "Oh great, it's working, the anesthetic's working." I was like, "No, I only mentioned it because Paddy McGuinness, he went and got the plasma thing done." And I said, "Oh well, Paddy McGuinness is doing it. Yeah, give me the plasma. Millionaire comedian. If he's doing it, maybe my medical card covers it too." What do I do? I was meant to do a podcast today. Okay, sorry, Jim, I'm going to tell you.
Go for it.
I was meant to do a podcast today, right? I was meant to do a podcast at 5:00, and there was a mix-up of communication. I thought it was on here. It was actually out in Ardfert or somewhere. And so I'm in here. I went up to the bar and was like, "Hey, you know the boys are doing a podcast?" And I was like, "Podcast? What the fuck are you talking about?" And I felt really embarrassed, really ashamed. And it was a bit of a mix-up. The guys were on our first. I was here, so I was really angry. I was like, "I'm gonna fuck these guys. Like, I'm not gonna show up tonight. I'm gonna get my own back." And then, so when I got back from pickleball, I put on my. I meant it. I was not going to come here, and so I went home and put on my pajamas, my wanking pajamas. So I was in for the night, and my protest was something that they would never know, but I would know. I was going to stay at home and masturbate for 7 hours, and then I thought, you know what? The only person you're going to hurt if you do that is yourself. The lesions from the last time have only just cleared up. Look, I came here. But one of the questions that they were going to ask on the podcast, pre-production, was, "What are your hobbies?" And I thought about it, and I don't really have any. My hobbies include sitting in the patio. Anybody here have a patio?
Yeah.
Yeah, very underrated thing to do. Just go and sit in the patio. It's a nice place to be, especially if it's covered. Applying for public jobs. That's a hobby of mine. I like to do that. Anybody here ever applied for a public job?
Yeah.
It's what a nightmare.
Yeah.
What is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Tell me, write an essay on achievement. Hey, how you doing, man? Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You're very fucking early on it. What is it?
November.
No, man, you're more than a month. Oh.
22nd
Yeah.
November.
What? Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's a fashion thing. Is it? Yeah. Is it Christmas?
Yeah.
Next week it will be.
Hey, happy
Yeah,
Christmas.
it's Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Do you want to go all the way in?
Yeah,
Go on. Go on.
You
Go
can't
on.
leave. You can't leave.
I won't leave, don't worry.
No, he's one of the guys. This is one of the guys. He's one of the jacks. The jacks. You Bulls guy?
What?
Are you a Bulls guy?
I am both guys.
Yeah, I'm a Bucks guy.
Sure we can.
My American team is doing better than your American team. Yeah, I go Bucks. Yeah, we got Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, my hobbies. Did I say the patio?
Yeah.
And it's an underrated thing to do. Applying for public jobs, I did that one as well. Brunch. Do you ever go for? Yeah,
We're
brunch.
going tomorrow.
Where are you guys going?
The Ash.
Brio. Brio? The one up there in your little?
No.
Where's brioche?
Ash.
Oh, brioche. I thought you said brioche.
No.
Sorry. Sorry. I was like, that's an island, not a location. Yeah, I went to Brio with my girlfriend last week, and I realised that I've turned into everything I hate. Because we're looking at the menu, it's like, I don't really like anything here. Oh, I don't feel like sausages. I've got pickleball in an hour. I don't want to be weighed down. So they came over anyway. And her order was, this is true, she ordered a smashed avocado without the avocado. Toast. She could have just said toast, but she asked for a smashed avocado, holy avocado, and I said, could I get the vegetarian burrito or rashers? Like, that's just acting the prick, to be honest. So yeah, they're my hobbies. They're my hobbies. Guys, I have a terrible feeling about the general election next week. Does anybody else have a sense of foreboding about what's going to happen?
I'm working.
You what?
I'm working for it.
Oh yeah, what are you doing? Are you running?
Polling cook.
Polling cook.
Clerk.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was thinking, what are you? They have a deli up there. I voted. I'll take Sinn Féin and chicken fillet, please. Yeah, that's good, man. I might see you up there. What's your station?
Mind well.
Oh, I'm a CBS guy. Will you vote yourself, or can you disclose that? Will that compromise you in the eyes of the electorate?
I can vote, but I just don't care.
You don't care. You're what's the word? When people get apathetic. Well, that's terrible. The youth of today. Well, I think you should vote for Sinn Féin. I think we should all vote for Sinn Féin. But I have the exact same feeling about Sinn Féin next week that I did about Ireland in the quarter-final of the Rugby World Cup. Remember that? We were definitely going to win this time. It's definitely going to happen this time. And then, yeah, those fucking smug elitist cunts failed us again. And the rugby team. So, there is a joke there, but it won't be any good after next week. So people say I look great. Okay. People say someone told me I look very good for 41 last year. It was like, what's your secret? And I said, well, I'll tell you, I've worked. Sorry. I said, what's your secret? And I said, well, I've put a lot of effort into not working for the last 17 years. Plenty of water and 4-hour naps.
And a lot of masturbation.
Yeah, well, not all the time. It's just in big sessions, I would call them. Gooning sessions. Hey guys. Sorry, I had one more joke. Do you know what? Will I?
Go on.
Yeah. Well, it's just another hobby.
Go on.
I like to buy clothes in the fancy stores around Tralee, like DV8 and Ceci Us. And I like to buy clothes and then return them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
same.
So I buy a pair of too tight jeans. I don't wear them. I buy a pair of jeans that are way too tight for me.
It's like free money. You get it back.
Yeah, you keep, that's it, yeah. It's,
Recycling.
Pretty much, yeah. It kind of is, yeah. Nike will take anything back for any reason for 2 years, you know that? So I've been on the same pair of shoes for like 10 now. Yeah, okay. So, look, that's more of a grift than a joke. So, guys, thanks very much. I'm actually going out this way, so enjoy the rest of your nights. I've been Ronan Grace. Thanks very much. Good luck.
Ladies and gents, keep it going for Ronan Grace as he leaves the building! Yeah, he's got a very important pickleball game tomorrow. That's good stuff. Hard things. Ladies and gents, I'm in a great mood. I made a bit of money actually recently. I sold something on Facebook Marketplace for the first time. Just the one item. It was a bike shed for £380,000. Good. Euros, sorry, euros. Sorry, I'm married to an English woman. She charged me for sex. No, I actually hear that Simon Harris is going to get some of the signs from Kamala. Get them second hand, get them nice and cheap. But obviously that would require him to be good with money, so it didn't happen. You do hear that a lot of politicians, a lot of political parties are trying to get young people into politics. Except for Sinn Féin, they're trying to get politicians out of young people. Yeah. I got jokes about being a fallen Fine Gael. Actually, I just have one joke and I just tell it twice. People can't tell the difference, apparently. So, yeah. Jokes about independence as well, or as in Kerry, they say the Healy race. I don't think you're actually an independent if there's 6 of you and you all share the same second name and share a fund. I don't think you're actually independent there. You can't beat the Healy race, but if you go to the wrong chip band, they'll beat you. Yeah. Are you aware of that? That some guy was standing in front of him with a chip van and it was taking too long, and he beat the shit out of him. Yeah, that's good. There. You got elected. So that's really good. Go to the Healy race. I mean, listen, they're on your side. Unless you're taking too long ordering, so that's good. American politics obviously fascinates me. It's a bit, people are a bit sick of it now, but I think they're more quotable. There's a lot of American, and some of the quotes you actually know as Irish people, despite the fact that they're from American presidents. So there was Franklin D. Roosevelt, so he's Delano is the D. So I'm like mildly amusing, but also educational. That's kind of my niche. So he's famous one is, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. That and Lebanese pagers. Again, happened 2 months ago, so I'm sorry about that. And then you've got John Fitzgerald Kennedy. His F is for Fitzgerald. I did that wrong. I just sound like I'm on Sesame Street there. And his most famous one was, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. His second most famous quote is there someone up in that tower? Yeah, someone actually said, you should change that so it's like, there's someone up in that, is there someone up on that grassy knoll? I just remember thinking, bit of conspiracy theorist, I bet you didn't get the COVID jab. And then, I actually am glad that the orange man got voted, because he's been in everything, and it's only a matter of time. The orange fella was, it's Donald J. Trump, and obviously the J stands for Jesus Christ, they elected him twice. He's been in everything. He's been in films. He was in Home Alone 2. People remember Donald Trump in Home Alone 2? Great film. He was on WWE. He had his own TV show. And it's only a matter of time now, because the next thing they're going to do is put him into a computer game. I believe they're going to put him into Mortal Kombat, and his finisher is just going to be grab him by the pussy. No, it's good. No one's tried to shoot the Irish president. He's too small. Hard to hit. Michael D. Higgins, but also because despite what Conor McGregor thinks, the Irish politician has less power than a recently updated iPhone, so there's no point really. Ladies and gents, we've got a fantastic comedian who's come all the way from Limerick. She's pure decent, she's all the way from Limerick. Please give a big round of applause and a very warm welcome to Paula Kelleher!
Okay, hello everybody. You're all very welcome to my show. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Is that good? Right.
Pull her up a bit more.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm actually quite new to stand up. So look, I know that there are some other fellow comedians here and audience members. So look, if anybody does have any advice for me afterwards or feedback, please do let me know. I would really appreciate it. And what I, as a woman would call receiving feedback, I know that most men would just call that having a conversation. Do feel free to let me know. But you can probably tell that I'm quite nervous, so that's why I don't actually like to hold the microphone. I'm going to keep it in the stand. So actually the way that I approach the microphone is actually the same way that I used to give hand jobs, right? So I prefer to take a hands-off approach. I don't like to touch it, but I will keep my mouth in front of it. But yeah, so I'm quite new to stand up. I've only done it a few times, and actually the first time I did it was also down in County Kerry. It was in this really backward place in the middle of nowhere. It's like, you've probably never heard of it. It's called Haloran. It was lovely. But no, so that was the first time that I did stand up. And actually the day that I did it, it was actually my birthday. And it's an interesting thing to try stand up, to do something like this, to put yourself out there, on your birthday. And because it was my birthday, I was actually at this fancy dress event before I went down to the gig. Now, when I say it was a fancy dress event, it was actually just a couple of men who were wearing these kind of special costumes, and there was some food and some wine there. Actually, this type of event does happen quite regularly. It's also known as mass. I was at this actually special mass. It was actually an anniversary mass for my father, who unfortunately passed away around that time last year. And so we had his anniversary mass on my birthday this year, and we had his funeral mass and his burial on my birthday last year. And it's interesting, as I was growing up my whole life, I always had an unusual association with my birthday. I always felt a bit down or a bit depressed and a bit sad around my birthday. I could never figure out why, I was always wondering, why am I like this? What's the reason? But obviously now with the loss of my dad coinciding with that time, that I obviously do have a reason as to why I'd be depressed around my birthday. So, it just really goes to show that your prayers can be answered. It's nice to be there in Kerry. I am from Limerick. It is a place that unfortunately does have a bit of a negative association with it. Is there anyone else here from Limerick?
Woo!
Alright, nice. Okay, so we've a good few people to stab with very little time, so we'll crack on with it anyway. But no, Limerick, it's not so bad, and I was born and raised there, but I didn't live there for a long time. I actually lived in Asia for about 11 years. I lived in 4 different Asian countries, and I'm back living in Limerick now the last couple of years. And the last place that I lived in Asia was China, right? So I lived there for 6 years. And actually being from Limerick and moving to China, it was actually very easy to adapt to life there, And I think that's the thing, when you live abroad and you travel abroad and you meet people from different backgrounds and different cultures, you really realise human beings, we have a lot more in common than we have differences. Right, and definitely being from Limerick and Beijing, which is the capital where I lived, there's a lot of similarities between the two places. I'd say the most noticeable of which was the accent. Yeah. So people think that to learn to speak the Chinese language is quite difficult, but honestly, if you can speak Limerick City, you're about 90% of the way there, right? So in Limerick, we kind of have this common slang phrase. We might say, come here and I tell you a question. Right? So in Chinese, we have a direct translation. We say, "Wo jian ni shuo yi ge wendi," right? It's like word for word translation. Or if someone's kind of giving you a bit of cheek, you might say, "What are you saying?" Right? In Chinese, we'd say, "Ni zai gan ma?" Right? There's a lot of crossover between the two cultures for sure. And having lived in China for 6 years, I can confirm it is now a scientifically proven fact that the Chinese are a great bunch of lads. I actually got commission from the author for that one. But so it's interesting. Birthdays are interesting, and getting older. It's an interesting thing as life goes on. And I suppose growing up, I never really had much of a hang up about my age. It's something that's kind of started, quite recently since I, started getting older. And particularly a couple of months ago, there was this incident that happened that really made me start to feel quite self-conscious about my age. So I was at this event and I was sitting around a table with, about 5 or 6 people, and they were a good few years younger than me. I was chatting to this one girl, and she was about 17. So, she was, a teenager, she's a child. So I can say as the adult in that relationship that she was a bitch, So we were chatting away, and then all of a sudden she just turns around to me and she goes, "Barry, how old are you?" And I was a bit, embarrassed, and kind of taken back, and all the other people around the table kind of all went quiet and they were kind of looking at me, And so I kind of sheepishly answered, and I said, "Oh, I'm 34. And I think she kind of realised that she'd embarrassed me, so she kind of tried to recover, and she goes, "Oh, but you don't look it, you don't look it." And I thought that that was a really interesting thing to say, because I actually think I do look my age, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I've lived a lot of life, I've had a lot of life experience. But I was thinking about it more, and then I realised that the reason why I think she thought I didn't look my age was because I wasn't wearing my usual uniform, right? Which was an Adidas tracksuit. Okay, as everybody knows, the international symbol for a single woman in her 30s is, of course, an Adidas tracksuit, right? The same way that, you know, if you want to know how old a tree is, you just cut it down and count the number of rings on the inside. You know, with women, you just turn them on the side and count the number of stripes going down the side of their body, and it's one stripe for every decade. And I'm quite conscious that I'm not actually wearing any Adidas clothes right now. So this is a joke that I would like some feedback on afterwards, whether it works or not. But also, I just don't want to, you know, be typecast as, you know, a single woman in her 30s. You know, I don't want that to become my gimmick. So I'll keep working on that. Yeah, no, so I am single. Some of you will be delighted to know. I am single, but I actually prefer the more accurate description, which is divorced. Which is a story for another day, let me tell you. But yeah, since I've started doing stand-up, I've kind of noticed, you know, I've been paying attention to other female comedians, and I noticed that a lot of female comedians, they tend to talk about their relationship status as part of their act. I guess males do it as well, but I notice it more when the women do it. And I would say a majority, or if not the majority, a significant amount of the female comedians happen to be single, right? And that actually makes a lot of sense. And I can say that, speaking from experience, that, you know, if they were married or they were in long-term relationships, they'd be at home in the kitchen where they belong. Yes, so I know that that's quite a controversial joke, right? But I think it's a classic, and I'm going to bring it back. And I think if feminism has achieved anything, it's that women have just as much of a right to be sexist as men, okay? So I'm going to call that a win for feminism. But yeah, no, I love Mass. I love going to Mass. I do go to Mass every weekend. And I have had a steady conversion actually back to the Catholic faith over the past couple of years, which has been a really beautiful thing, you know. And to be honest, my whole life, you know, I've been searching for God. I didn't know that's what I was searching for, but I was searching for God to kind of fill that, you know, that hole that was inside of me. And so in the process of searching for God, I tried a lot of different things, you know. So I tried feminism for a lot of years, and that did fill the hole inside of me, but liberal feminism at least. But that actually left me with a lot of trauma. You know, I got a lot of trauma from that. So then I tried autism, right? I felt like I wasn't intelligent enough for that. And I also have a very strong work ethic, so that just wasn't really a good fit for me. Then I tried Protestantism, and that was nice, you know. I have a lot of Protestant friends, and I quite like the music. But I just couldn't cope with the tea. I can't drink lions and berries through and through, so that was out. So then the natural kind of conclusion for me was to, you know, come back to my Catholic faith, which has been a really beautiful thing, you know. To grow in your faith and find a relationship with God is a really beautiful thing. But it does come with some challenges, you know. The life of a Catholic, the life of a Christian, you know, it's a challenging life for sure. And some of the challenges that I'm encountering at the moment is that I'm, you know, now practicing chastity, right? Which means that I'm not going to engage in any sexual activity until I get married. Again. So obviously I don't have a great track record with, you know, commitment and, you know, fidelity and chastity and adultery. So look, you might say a prayer for me if you're so inclined. But look, before I let you go, there's something that I would like to talk to you about that I think as a woman is very important to talk about. And now I bet you're looking at me thinking, oh, here we go. She's going to talk about her period. I just want to let you know that's not me, okay? Don't worry, that's not my content. However, I would like to talk about the other time of the month, known as ovulation, when us ladies release our eggs out into the wild to be scrambled or fried or poached, particularly by those gay couples who have infertility challenges. They will pay a pretty penny to poach your eggs, let me assure you. But no, I think Sorry, not pushing that.
Gays poaching eggs.
Yeah, so actually what happens in the lead up to ovulation is actually the production of cervical mucus, right? And cervical mucus is essential to a woman's fertility, okay? It's really important for conception. You won't conceive naturally without it. But it's something that we don't really know about, we don't really talk about. It's something that gets very little recognition, just like women ourselves. I think there's a couple of reasons as to why people don't want to talk about cervical mucus. And that's because it's the word mucus, right? It kind of gives people the ick, kind of turns them off, right? Which is fair enough, a word like, moist or flaccid. Those kind of words, they kind of just make people feel uncomfortable. But there's another reason, I think, as to why people don't want to talk about mucus, and that's because it's also white in colour, and it can be transparent as well. And unfortunately, in our modern society, whiteness and transparency are two characteristics that are not really well respected. Just look at the behaviour of the Irish government, for example. But I guess you're wondering, why does she want to talk about these really well-known and really palatable topics? But actually the reason is that I'm trained as a fertility awareness educator, so it's actually part of my work to talk about these things and to educate people about these things. And I also work with women and couples to help them to chart their cycles and help them to avoid pregnancy naturally without having to use artificial contraception, and also to teach couples how to optimise their chances of conception and pregnancy. And that's a really fulfilling part of my work, is helping a couple to have a child. It's really, really rewarding. It's the greatest gift, But there's another part of my work that's also very fulfilling, is that I help women to determine whether it's themselves or their husbands that are infertile. And I must say that nothing gives me a greater sense of satisfaction than getting to tell a man he might be shooting blanks. That's it for me. Thanks very much.
Ladies and gents, keep it going for Paula, Kelleher! I'm conscious if I do slip off the stage, it's probably just mucus. No, Paula mentioned, religion there, and I was kind of struggling with my own spirituality recently, because I think if God was real, I don't think he'd let those beautiful priests get caught. He'd be on their side, and I think if God was real, he or she, in fact, I can't misgender God because they don't exist. I actually was an altar boy when I was younger, and I know you think, oh great, he's going to say that he was sexually abused as a child, but I'm not, because I, like the vast majority of altar boys, can keep a secret. Thanks Graham, perfect timing. I was just about to announce the next guy, but he's taking a slash, so I'll just kill this time. So, ladies and gents, we're going to make some noise for the next comedian. Please give a big round of applause for the fantastic Ruairi Haloran!
Unlike everyone else, if I fall off, I'm staying down. Like Neymar. I feel small.
I should have done that.
That's easier. Get down.
Out the door.
Now, I'm debating how to start this. Should I start nicely or do I normally do? Yeah, well, do I normally do? Bullshit. Like my exams. But, right, where to start? We'll start the election because that's coming up. And as you know, I am working for it. Yes, I'm waking up at 6:30 in the morning on a Friday after a night out drinking for college night. Woohoo, more people coming in. But, right, so, you all know Sinn Féin, yeah? And the housing crisis is a big thing because a lot of people coming in and can't get any housing. But Sinn Féin have a great idea. They go team up with the best friends, the IRA, who know how to blow stuff up, especially in London. And they're going to help you devaluate some property using bonds. Or maybe cars, maybe both. But I don't know, but for me, if I wake up, I feel small. Now I'm up here and a bit big. But I went to the gym the other day, for once. And I'm like, right, let's go off to the gym and see what happens. I went to the bathroom, and all you can hear in the bathroom, are you using that? I'm like, yeah. When you done? 10 minutes? Can I come in? Hell no! Go in, Paula. Turns out I went to a church. I don't know the difference. Didn't have my glasses. The police took them. I don't know what happened. But anyway, the Russians, I don't know the Russians nowadays, but the way they speak, oh, it's scary. They go, if they're nice, they're like, ooh, fluffy bear and teddy rabbits. If they're mean, I kill you. I'm gonna blow shit up in Ukraine. Because Israel took Gaza before them. And while that's going on, we have the North Koreans who love helping tyrants blow shit up. But other than that, on the other side, the IRA are very quiet nowadays. They don't like people taking their stuff. Because they love blowing shit up in England, and that's already been under scrutiny for the last 40 years. And if my leg does start to shake, I'm trying to look for a ferret. I put it into my leg, when I put it in my pocket, it might have eaten the pocket. Because I can't seem to find them. Found him. You want to come out now, ferret? But I was playing soccer recently, and I thought it could be fun until I realised the centre bench is not on the team, as well as left back at home. The bastard's coming for 14 years saying you're coming left back at home. No way they didn't want me on the bus. But a friend of mine went to me the other day and he's like, "How are you such a good goalkeeper?" I said, because I like protecting, or I like getting the balls here at me. It turns out that wasn't a good idea because I got arrested. When God is Shikana. Because it turns out it was one of Diddy's parties. And it was a lad called Diddy that I told. It didn't end well. For the One Direction I do, found out that gravity can't hold him down from 3 flights of stairs. Yeah. Must be a headache now. Released his best single just before that. Gravity can't hit you down. But I find it funny because since SpaceX and all them, I thought Elon Musk would be a good idea for government. No, now I'm thinking it's a bad idea because Trump's part of it. So in 2016 we had A New Hope. And in 2020 we had The Last Jedi. And now we have Revenge of the Sith. And the old man is called Donald Trump, not the Emperor. He's too orange for that. But I think now the best Star Wars character has to be Old Man Trump. Because he looks like the Emperor, he sounds like the Emperor, and everyone loves him. Oh wait, that's just America, never mind. But I just stopped saying stuff about America, even though I've only been there like twice. And in 2000 I was there, I almost got arrested. Turns out you can't walk the streets saying F off to the president. The president's old and loves falling on stairs. So I do fall, it's just my Joe Biden impression. But at least I can fall down, not up. I'm like Liam Payne. On stairs. But the worst part about stairs for me is going up the stairs. So I'm home after long hard days of football or soccer or whatever the hell I do. And I'm like, there's stairs to get into my house now? I'm too sober for this. I'm normally pissed drunk, so I don't see them.
Same.
And I go flying down like the wagon. No, my mother got me from alcoholism. She goes to me, Roy, do you have a drinking problem? No, I pretty much got it figured out. How many beers? What beers do you like? An open one. And how do you know when you stop? I run out. Have you ever been to an AA meeting? AA is for quitters. I'm no quitter, I'm Russian. I drunk fuel half the time, I sober fuel another time. I'm just crazy as it is. He's like, you're Irish. Is that what it's called? I always thought I had a good time. Did I have a good time? But I'm going to finish with one final question, because everyone loves the Bible and some other people for the Bible. So, for you especially, the Bible is the WhatsApp group for men. We got the resident bullshitter, Jesus. There was one time my mother got pregnant before I even fuck her. You're lying, Jesus! Moses was definitely a drug dealer. Behind a church in Burning Bush. What was the bush or what? Judas, take one pop and pass it on. Judas, take one pop. He was up the hill to get some tablets. Half an hour later, they all put it down. You know, Judas, you're my best mate. I fucking love you. Then we have 3,000 people on a big long walk. And Jesus was like, I'll feed all these people. And he's fed. Like, cut in tiny pieces now, spread out, tiny pieces spread out, tiny pieces spread out. And we say they're all high. And the best part about Jesus is the wine. I love when they come to my parties. I never make it out there. And it'll be all free. I'll be rocking up and Jesus will be there. Jesus, instead of wine, can you give me this particular beer? Or alcohol, or whatever the hell you do. I want to get drunk. And I'll remember tonight. Until I end up in a cop car. Because I may have done something stupid. And I asked my friend, how do we get there? He doesn't really know. He followed me. Because I somehow became the leader of sleeping on crossbars on a football pitch. Not the best time, certainly not the worst time. It was after I got arrested I figured it all happened. But that's all my time, thanks very much.
Ladies and gents, keep it going for Ruairi, Haloran! Sorry, is it Haloran?
Haloran.
Haloran, oh, apologies, he took the soup. No, ladies and gents, anyone watch Kneecap? Anyone watch the movie Kneecap? Oh, you gotta watch it, it's unreal. Has no one watched Kneecap?
I have two kneecaps here.
The movie? It's awesome. So it's the Irish rap group speaking Irish. The entire movie's in Irish. And like it made me want to learn Irish. Anyone here go to Irish college back in the day? Yeah. I mean, if you're unfamiliar, Irish college is where middle class parents sent their kids off so they just could get away from the kids. To be very honest, I went 3 times actually. Yeah, and you know you don't actually learn much Irish there. The only thing I learned in Irish college was got Maleshgail Bawalat a fingering. Yeah, it's interesting, and you know, even back to Conor McGregor, great lad that he is. But listen, if you want 250 grand, you just go on. I don't know. But he was asked by an Irish journalist a question in Irish, and the only way he could respond in Irish was the only thing he knew in Irish. So, ladies and gents, can you say along with me? The only thing that Conor McGregor knew in Irish was on will.
There
you go.
Mushy the Holly.
Mushy the Holly, thank you very much. Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar, ladies and gents, it just means can I go to the toilet, please? Which is a strange thing to teach Irish children because it implies they were very hydrated the entire time. And you know, it's kind of the most useless thing as an adult to actually learn, except for me because I go to a dominatrix in Quilt, so I have to add her that. Ladies and gents, on that note, can we please make some noise for our very last comedian of the night, the hilarious Graham Kenelly!
How are you all doing? Normally I open up with jokes that I've already used probably countless of times, and I'm going to do it again tonight with stuff I had about the election. But to be quite honest, like the election and everybody else talking about it, I'm fairly bored. So I'm just, everything that I have now is all new, so just ignore the phone. Now, with the election, I was trying to find something else to talk about, like, and I seen that in America, they celebrate, like the bald eagle, they actually celebrate it so much to the point that where if you kill one, you'll go to jail for life. And it made me think then, like, what in Ireland do we hold to the same regard? Any suggestions? Any ideas? No? Alcohol.
Guinness.
Yeah, like Guinness, exactly, Guinness. But I mean, like, one too many of them, you're going to jail anyway. Anyone else? Any others? No? No, there's a shamrock, there's a harp. You're not really going to go to jail for breaking a harp or kicking some grass. I actually found it very hard to think of anything that even closely matched to the way America was running it. And like, it's actually mad to me that a country that would rather sell bulletproof school bags care more about an eagle than fixing their gun laws. Like, how does that even go down? Like, do they just walk in? Do you walk into a shop and ask for a bulletproof school bag? And she's like, yes, ma'am, we do have them in stock. We have small, medium, large, super size, and I wish I was homeschooled. And they come in a range of colors from camouflage, light camouflage, dark camouflage, and AR-15 green. It's good, keep it going. We all remember the lockdown, obviously. It's fucking stupid that I'm even talking about it now, but we all remember
Guinness
it.
is for.
Sorry?
That's what Guinness is for.
That is what the Guinness is for, exactly. I'm trying to fucking forget about it. I do anyway. Like, during the lockdown, I did fucking nothing. To be honest, all I did during the lockdown was snort cocaine. You know, my mentality was, right, that if I could snort this line faster than the coronavirus, then it won't catch me. And it didn't. It didn't. Throughout the whole of COVID, I never caught COVID. But throughout the whole of cocaine, I did get caught by the guards. Yeah. See, I started selling. My mentality was, right, in my fucking cracked mentality was, it's supply and demand. You know, people want it. People need it. I.e. me. And they'll buy it, like, they'll take it. I.e. I did. You know? And you know, look, obviously I wasn't very good at it, like, hence why I'm here now doing stand-up comedy. But you know, obviously, what you're all thinking is, I have you on the hook now. I got arrested. None of you care about stand-up comedy. I wasn't good at drug dealing. Kerry not very good at this either. And what you all want to know is, did I drop the soap in jail? To which I say, right, that's a very offensive stereotype pushed on me by the media and television. We don't drop soap because who fucking drops soap? Like, we actually just wait for you to tie your shoelaces. And yeah. I'm just gonna completely skip the end of that one.
No!
Say it, come on.
Okay. Who honestly dropped the bar? So, honestly, look, I got very lucky. I went to court and I managed to get my sentence suspended, which, to be quite honest, I wasn't really worried about going to jail anyway, because I have a pretty fuckable face. And I packed Velcro shoes. Look, to be honest, I don't take drugs at all anymore. I'm actually a year and 6 months sober today. And I wanted to celebrate with you all by playing a little game. And this little game is called Drug Deal or No Drug Deal. Okay. Sound effects, everything's here now. Right, so I need an audience member. Kato, I'm going to pick you because you're probably the closest. Welcome to Drug Deal or No Drug Deal. What's your name?
Kato.
Kato, very nice. Thank you for coming to the show. Right, I have a question for you. And I want you to decide what heads will be or what tails will be. I'm going to flip a coin, okay? Because when I got a year and 6 months sober, I got this sobriety coin.
Yeah.
So it's imaginary. I'm going to flip this coin. I want you to decide, right? Here are your options. And I want you to leave a small, have you seen Countdown before?
Yeah.
I want you to leave a small bit of suspense, like they do on television, between your question and your answer, okay? So your options are A, leave me alone and get on with the show. Or B, Graham, you should risk it all and get a bag right now. I just want you to leave a small bit. Oh, hang on, never mind. I had another sound, but I don't pay for YouTube Premium, so I'm not going to play an ad for you right now. So, do you remember your options?
I do remember options, yes.
What do you want heads to be?
I want B.
You want B. So you want B to be, Graham, go get a bag and risk it all right now.
Of course, yeah.
Will you flip my imaginary coin?
Of course.
I'm not sure what did it land on, Peter?
Heads.
It landed on heads.
Yeah.
Oh. I can't believe you actually want me to take drugs right now. I mean, you're on 6 months sober, Peter. That's awful, Kerry. I'm moving on. Jesus Christ, man. That's fucking awful. That's awful. That's actually terrible. Yeah, during the lockdown, I also took up smoking. Does anybody here smoke?
My babe.
Doesn't count. It does count, honestly, because they have these messages and pictures on vape boxes just the same way they do on tobacco pouches. And like you have one of them, it's smoking may harm your baby, which, to be honest, I think I turned out fine. My mom still smokes today, like my sister turned out fine. She was premature. She turned out fine, like, you know. And they have another one, it's cigarettes are addictive. So is cocaine. I did a guilt trip myself, the same way these tobacco companies do. And another one is, if you smoke, you have a chance of being infertile. Sound. I didn't really want kids anyway, like, you know. In my opinion, having a kid now, right, is like having an exotic animal. It's like, you either have to be rich or a little crazy to have one. You know, I couldn't do it to myself. And that's most of my new material, lads. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gents, keep it going for Graham Kenelly! Ladies and gents, please, thank you so much for being a fantastic audience, ladies. We really do appreciate you coming in here. Spread the word, tell your friends that we weren't terrible. It's alright, you know, it was good. If you like us, you can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. So anywhere there, you know, the normal places. Again, it's Chuckle, County Kerry, and the initial spell. Do you remember what they had? She knows this spell. Someone's in the back up. Yeah, they were in the special class at school. Ladies and gents, you've been fantastic. My name's Callaghan. I'll be alright. Good night. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's actually